Hey guys, a little different background here. I'm not outside in the yard. I'm actually at my warehouse and gonna go downstairs and put together today's project. So I'm sure you can tell by the title that I'm tired of going to get fuel with 5-gallon cans. So we're gonna take care of that today. I got a larger Lund fuel tank and a fill-rate pump and filter system. And from now on, I'm going to be able to get 55 gallons at a time. I figured this was needed considering I'm going to have 3 pieces of equipment on the property running diesel fuel. The cans just don't cut it, and the safety mechanisms they have on those things nowadays, I think, create more spills than they prevent. So I'm going to head downstairs and get this thing put together. See you there. This is not a very stable work surface. Okay, the plan here was to build this 38 inches wide and 27 inches deep. This allows me 3.5 inches of extra material to the sides for protection, and I believe 2.5 inches front and rear for protection. Also enough area for the mounting tabs. I am using 3/8 by 3-inch galvanized lag screws to hold the pressure treated 2x8s to the pressure treated 4x4s. And I'm going to use the 5/16 by 1.5-inch galvanized lag bolts, lag screws to hold the tank to the pressure treated 2x8s.
I put just one screw in each corner so I could still adjust the squareness of the piece before I secured it fully. I'm taking a quick measurement just so I'm not placing these bolts in the way of the rear mounting tabs for the tank. Now I built the base for this definitely heavier duty than it needed to be. I just wanted to make sure that the tank would be protected with repeated lifting and moving with the pallet forks on the tractor. This is just a quick test fit. I want to get an idea of the height of the pump inside the tank and basically measure everything out so I know what's going on. This is an important part, as you'll see later. Now, all of this measuring and double checking and test fitting is super important, but in the long run, it's worthless if you're doing bad math in your head. Now, here comes the first and a couple of good aha moments during this build, and well, sometimes we make mistakes. So I stop and think about what my options are and come to the realization that this is nothing that a quick trip to the bandsaw and plasma cutter can't fix. So let's get that done. Now I don't use the plasma cutter a whole lot, so it's rough, but I clean my work up with a file and make it work. Okay, there was a lot of file work to be done with my less than professional plasma cutting skills, but little work never hurt anybody. Now that's better. I think this is gonna work. I can't quite get this exactly where I want. I wish I could turn it about another 45 degrees from where it ended up. I wanted to keep the filter on top of the edge of the tank just to keep it from protruding out and possibly getting bumped, but it'll work just fine the way it is. I'm using a fuel-rated Teflon tape for this project just to make sure the diesel doesn't interfere and create leaks farther on down the road. Okay, this filter is not going to stick too far out away from the side of the tank, and I can live with that, but I sure wish I can get another 45 degrees turn on that main pump. I'm thinking about adding a swivel joint here a little bit later in the future because the way the hose has its predetermined coiling doesn't allow it to just sit neatly or move around where you want it. And I think it'll also keep the hose from sticking even farther away from the tank. It'll rest more naturally with gravity.
All right, as long as that main pipe isn't hitting at the bottom of the tank, I think it should be good. Put it in the back of the truck, take it and fill it up on the way home. Then the real test. See if fuel actually comes out of it.
You can see I added the filter and also the filler cap to the tank. Somehow missed filming those, but they're there now.
That'll be a whole lot easier at home with the tractor.
Okay, the tank specifications said 55 gallons, but I could only get 53 into it, and I think that has something to do with the amount of threading on the cap that goes down into the tank. So there's probably about an inch of air above the fuel, which isn't a bad thing. I don't think this tank is baffled though, so I imagine might be not so great driving it around half full with the weight sloshing around inside the tank. So overall, this took a little over about 4.5 minutes to fill. So I calculated the service station's pumps to be around 12 gallons per minute. So here I am, about $133 lighter in the wallet, but I don't have to come back here for a while.
Okay. Just filled the new fuel tank up for the first time. See it out the back window there. Kind of a relief to know I'm not struggling with 5-gallon cans of diesel on a constant basis anymore. So anyways, let's head home, and I have some diesel in a 5-gallon can because I know I'm going to have to prime that filter, prime that pump, and other than that, we should be good to go. This is exciting. Alright, I'm going to keep my eyes on the road now. I thought I'd share just a little bit of my drive, so the new fuel tank is just in time because that sucker's just about pegged. So let's test it out. Some fuel in there. Where can we? This is going to make a mess. All right, that wasn't bad. Okay. Let's get a little fuel in there. There comes the mess. Let's see if that's all she needs.
And here comes big aha moment number 2 for this build.
Whoa. Okay, nope, I was turning it the wrong way. That makes a big difference. Holy cow. Oh. is working.
I went with the manual pump over the battery-driven pump just because I wanted to be able to reverse the flow and not leave so much fuel in the line. And also, who knows, I might be able to use this to drain tanks or other things when needed.
That is awesome. Full tank. Backwards a half a turn or so. A couple turns. All right. Have to get that sprayed off, but yeah, this thing's amazing. They say 1 turn of the handle is 1/10 of a gallon, so 10 turns is 1 gallon, 100 turns is 10 gallons. That makes it pretty easy to keep track of, and you saw how fast it filled. I mean, I was very cautious this first time, but overall, I'm quite satisfied. Now I just got to clean up my mess. Thanks for watching.